This is the all-new BMW 2 Series, and we have it here for you as the 235, the top sports model, and we're going to tell you everything you need to know about the changes in this new generation here, and of course how it relates also to the competitors. Everything for you now with Thomas and Autogefuehl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go. Here we have the Brooklyn gray vehicle, one of my favorite colors at BMW. It is not a matte color per se, but it looks actually like one a little bit. And then in the front you can see here this really wide double kidney, optional with an illumination. This is new and it's actually made from fiberglass to be able to make this round shape here at the side. This top model here, the M Performance model, has the horizontal fins in the front grille and everything is rather blacked out. It's not only having the M Sport package, which is standard for the 235, but also the M Sport Pack Pro, which also, for example, includes the black mirror caps right there. Then the headlamps, optional, come with matrix LED, so they all have been reworked. In the European version, we also have here the blue tip on top of that. And interesting is that law-wise, you're not able, or you should not be able to watch or view that blue stuff from the front, not to mistake it for any police car behind you or something, but you can take a look at that from the side profile. The new 2 Series, it is related to the 1 Series as well, sit on the same platform. It is a front wheel based platform. However, you can also get all-wheel drive models like this one here, the top model, so it's like front plus rear on demand. And wheels, 17 to 19-inch wheels, these are the biggest ones. And the 235 also comes with 19-inch as standard. Different stylings are available. Interesting also here with the contrasting red brake calipers. 4,55 meters or 179 inches is the length. And actually, because there was discussion also with the 1 Series, is it like an extended facelift? Is it an all-new generation? And BMW also internally changed their vehicle code for that, because the wheelbase has remained the same and the doors, but even inside the doors there are different measures now to improve this crash safety. But everything else beside that, all new interior and even more changes to the rear and so on, so everything else is new. And then they decided, hey, it's an all-new generation. This then here, our Brooklyn gray vehicle color. You can see in the sedan form here, it is a 5-door one, definitely. It is also has this really strong shoulder shape. This is even carved out deeper than before. And towards the rear, we can see new tail lamp design, completely new tail lamp unit. And they also put this area here a little bit lower, and then the logo is wider, and that's why this area then appears to be slimmer. So they make this impression that the whole rear looks a little bit sportier than before in the outgoing model. A new theme also for the 1 Series, even for the new X3, is that the Autogefuehl fake exhaust police was successful, and that means no fake exhaust. Here in the sport model you see visible exhaust. They also have a function, 4 pipes, and in the normal models then, like the smaller petrol engines and so on, you have invisible exhaust. It means they're just underneath, and so you have always clean design and no fake exhaust graphics and so on. And there you have this diffuser unit here in the lower part. The base models would look a little bit more subtle. I'll soon tell you more about the different engines. We also, maybe you have already seen, have a second vehicle here for you today, and this is Borusan Turkish Blue, named after that region, city, and also the racetrack. And yeah, this is a really screaming out blue color, also with 19-inch wheels, but we have a different M styling here. This is also a US spec model, so for the Northern American market, and there you can see, for example, is different here in the side. You can see a small yellow indicator at the lights. There's a red indicator at the same placement right there. And there are no blue accentuations, because blue accentuations are not allowed on the Northern American market from the regulations. While they are allowed in the EU, they are a little bit strange, different things. Other than that, this one also does not have an illuminated kidney. That is just an option for this vehicle. It works also when it's all the way blacked out, but the illuminated kidney, of course, adds this different show effect. So as I said, you can also then get it in the US. Towards the side, you can see it appears actually totally different in that color, but both in common is that they all have the black frames around the window, and even from the base versions. So this is to make the 2 Series always a little bit sportier, also, for example, if you compare it to the 1 Series. Suspension-wise, by the way, the normal model gets a base suspension, and if you go then for an M Sport Pack or then standard for the M235, you get frequency adaptive dampers. It's a sportier suspension setup, but these frequency adaptive dampers also try to find a compromise between sportiness and comfort. You cannot actively adjust something, so it won't change with the driving mode, but frequency adaptive damping means when there's like a different amplitude from the shocks, from the shock impact, it rules then differently with a hydraulic cushion. That means when you have like a long wave or something like that, you still remain a good contact to the road, and it can actually be a little bit stiffer. But then when you have like a sudden impact by a pothole or something, it can be a little bit more forgiving and comfortable. So I always call it passively adaptive, so to speak. Here, by the way, you see here this stamped in 2 right here in this Hofmeister kink. So it's hard to see because it's black in black, but it's another design element that is also now in a lot of models they have. Sometimes they don't have it here, but then on the inside here, but in this case not, because these are frameless doors. And they can see both front and rear, both frameless. Also another reason to carry that roofline. By the way, this is here the 19-inch forged wheel. So this is included in the M technology pack, where you have additional stiffness measures and so on, so for even more sportiness. However, there is, when you think about the environmental perspective, there is one disadvantage, because the forged wheel is, let's say, from normal raw material, whereas for all normal aluminum wheels, like this one here, also the 19-inch ones, so all new aluminum wheels have now 70% recycled aluminum. And since aluminum is something which costs a lot of energy in production, their recycling makes a lot of sense to bring the CO2 value down. So this is something they do across the lineup now. And then to the turning indicators, they have this pulsing effect, you can see it, and vertically built in the front. And this pulse effect is also for the rear. Here it's actually on the outside way around, and it's also quite visible. As engines, in Europe we get the 2-liter 4-cylinder diesel or the 1.5-liter 3-cylinder petrol engine. Some might say they don't want a 3-cylinder in the BMW at all. It always depends on what you want. If you don't care about power, then it might not be very important. On the US market anyway, only the 2-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine, and the same we also get in the European spec. And then different horsepower versions. You also now get mild hybrid engines, depending on which engine you pick. And this one here is the top spec then, 2-liter 4-cylinder in the M235. We also have here an additional dome strut, for example, for more stiffness. And this one here, 300 horsepower in the EU, 317 in the US market. And the acceleration figures, 4.9 seconds in the EU, 4.7 seconds it would be then on the US spec, because to 60 miles an hour is always a little bit shorter than to 100 kilometers an hour. Door handles have remained the same. You close it here when you hold your fingertip there, otherwise you open it like this, then door closing sound. And this is here frameless doors, you remember. And we rarely have vehicles where we have a good door closing sound when we have frameless doors. It's of course a problem to design it that way. And here it's, let's say, it's quite good, it's okay. Not the best, we heard it better, but we definitely also heard it worse. And you can see this, of course, always a design thing with the frameless doors, and we have in here a structured material on top of the doors. You can also press it in a little bit, some more light with our lightsaber, yeah. Then we have the high-grade leatherette here in red in this case, Harman Kardon sound system, an option, Hofmeister King design element also at the inside of the doors, and only the lower part, this is here all hard pack, there's no cover on the inside, what I would wish for. In this case then, M Sport Pack or the M235, here with the M entry badge, and also the M steering wheel, with these colorful stitching on the inside. However, if you want all animal free, you would stick with the base steering wheel, and that is then from the animal free material, which actually today also feels better than the animal material. So this is then the technological progress. Here, the seat, this is the top sport seat, M performance seat, illumination right here, and this is then the high-grade leatherette, the Veganza, perforation that you already have a passive cooling actually, and you either get it in this spec here in red in the top performance seat, or with Alcantara. I can soon show that to you. If you want a more subtle color, yeah, then the Alcantara version, or if you go for a base sport seat, then you can pick different colors, or a base seat in the normal models. That's also available, these forms. Then with 189, 6'2", this is the version with the panoramic roof to the glass. there's much headroom, but then to the side here, to the left, still some headroom left here with 189 or 602. Really comfortable also from the seat material. All the surfaces are also really well built. Look at that here. Also the front part I can make a little bit longer, pretty plush. And you have a very sporty seating position in general. It already engages you, and we've recently been driving the BMW 1 Series, the 135. And that one already gave a very sporty character to it, and I can expect somewhat the same from this one. Steering wheel, classic control, menu in and out, up and down, large shifting pedals. And this side piece here is something special. It is real aluminum, and every single piece is put into like a machine, and then this here is cut out with three-dimensional milling technology. Pretty cool. It is actually real aluminum. You can also see it here in the side, the thickness of the aluminum. So a high effort just for this small piece. When it's really cold, you also can feel it actually, how this piece gets cold. And the ambient lighting is shining through from the background. That's another scheme. We have it here also in the M colors. We're going to show you more of that. Steering wheel, by the way, we have real buttons here. I really like that some of the newer BMW models have this area in capacitive BS, or like the one button field, but here these are all single buttons you can press, and that's also easier to do that while driving. Interior cockpit overview and more stories to come. For example, here the stitching on the dashboard, this is hand knit with a sewing machine, so someone like human sits down there and knits these ones and then turns it around, then it's put on top here. So really a lot of work and effort for that. Also nice integration here for the ambient lighting here in the M colors, and when you switch the temperature, for example here, everything turns to blue. When you turn the temperature up, everything switches to red. On the side as well. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, Leah remembered that from the BMW 1 Series and gave me a tip for that. So that's always good to have not only two eyes, but also 4 eyes. Then actually 4 eyes and 2 brains on location, definitely. Here in the
be crazy.
that would be crazy. Here in the middle console, you have in the front, this is like an inductive charging pad. So there we go. You can put it right here, and it's also cooled from underneath. There's like this slot here for the vents, and this doesn't overheat. Here the cup holders, they are not adaptive though, and I do criticize that because some slimmer bottles fly around, then to USB-C charger. This is a manual unit, good to have that volume jog there. And here to put in the gears, and also well attached this armrest here is also soft enough, and underneath some more space. Yeah, the things that I do criticize here is missing felt inside of the doors, cup holders, and also I like a physical interface for the climate unit, definitely. That is missing for me in the newer BMW models. And a quick look at the other seat material. This one here is the Veganza Alcantara mix. So you have a lot of Alcantara here, the microfiber on the inside of the seats. Also here, then we have this special technology. We also took a look at that at the Alcantara factory tour. So they make this laser holes here and there, then another color shines through from the background. Pretty cool. Illuminated M logo. And this vehicle is also, because it's a US spec as well, is also available on the North American market, but you can get the Alcantara mix everywhere basically. And here again the high-grade leatherette. So if you don't want the full leatherette seat, but here also want some microfiber share on it, also possible. And I mean, from the comfort, they are both fine, definitely. But remember, this is in both cases here the M performance seats. So if you want more comfort, you could also just stick with the normal sport seat, or in a base 2 Series with a base seat, depending on the market, of course. But basically they have 3 different seat forms available. And the driver POV here, nice controls of the buttons, also with nice clicking sounds there. Then the digital instruments here with a central speed, for example, but you can also change what you want to see there. And then there's also a head-up display available. The central screen here has a very good resolution, see it like that. And this is like the climate area here, which turns on. It at least stays always in that area there. Here you access this app view. Sometimes I feel it's a little bit overloaded. Most stuff you don't need. Apple CarPlay Android Auto has the wireless connection. This is the M key fob here in the M colors. If you have the M Performance model. Rear seats, here we have a nicer structure at the inside of the doors, also somewhat soft, then the high-grade leatherette right here. This is like this mesh structure, only hardback in the lower part. And then the question is, of course, it's not such a long vehicle, but what about legroom and headroom? Well, legroom, I can squeeze my knees into this recess here. Would be easier when it's a little bit higher, but the thing is, these are the M Performance seats and they are just thicker. So if you want more legroom, you need to stick with the normal sport seats or the base seat in the 2 Series Gran Coupé here. It works somehow, but not that much. And also the headroom, well, I have to put my head way in the back here in this small recess, and then yeah, I do hit the seating here. This is the European spec vehicle and with the panoramic glass roof, but it raises here to the rear again, so that's the thing. Yeah, not ample of space, should be a little bit smaller than me, then it works. Then we have 2 USB-C chargers and this middle hump here, transmission tunnel, because we also have the all-wheel drive versions. And then we can put this one down. Cup holders are also somewhat adaptive, and we can use this one here as a ski hatch. And I always find it quite funny here, this middle head restraint is a cool feature. Can be just folded back, and then you can fold it up like this if you actually need that. And one quick comparison, especially for our friends in the Northern American market. This one here is the US spec vehicle without the panoramic roof, and it has a different ceiling actually because of different crash tests requirement, because there is also a crash test in the US where you have to simulate a crash when someone is not buckled up, and then you know that there's less head injuries and so on. Yeah, I mean, it should be standard to be buckled up, you know, honestly, but the result from that is that here, this area here, and also here, everything is thicker with the seating, and that does cause headroom because of these regulations. So when I'm sitting in the non-panoramic roof, US spec ceiling, it gets really, really close with the head. So I do hit the ceiling with my head here, so that is a problem. If you think about most headroom to least headroom, headroom, yeah, it would be like the EU spec with a fixed roof, has most headroom. Then it would be the EU spec with a glass roof. Then it would be the US spec with a fixed roof, and the least headroom would be with the glass roof and the US spec, like in general, you know. So yeah, and Dia now says like, okay, totally crazy. And I was always wondering here, when you want to use the middle seat and buckle up, which we all do, of course, and have to do, here, like the one part for the seatbelt is right here, but it's kind of on the outside seat. And I have been wondering, when I put up this one and put the seatbelt down, will this one stick up my, you know? So let's try it. So this one comes in here. And then we have like a 3-point belt, but I mean, maybe let's first try it here with the middle seat, so I can sit here as a tall adult. Maybe not the most comfortable position, but it does work. Let's see, it's like this. So this works here seat belt wise. But now the thing is, I don't know, like sitting then here on the outside when this is the case, then I mean, it would be like this, we have seen it, right? So it would be a little bit to the side, but does it stick up my back or some? Interesting. So it's when I hold it to the side. Ah, okay, yeah. It looks worse than it is actually, because it's like this, and then I sit here, but you don't feel it too much actually. So it is okay, let's take it that way. I would have imagined that you feel it more in the back. Yeah, but I think it's probably nothing you would want to do like for the longest holiday trip. And if you also wonder, how can we open this one here again? Because actually like the mechanism is here inside, and like, do I need a screwdriver for that? Well, there's an easy solution. Just put the other seat belt right here, like this. There we go. And then we have it released again. Now the force is with me again today. Thank you, Ahsoka, for lending me this one. So then let's take a look at the trunk, 430 liters. You can see here the cabin trolley also fits in the vertical way. So this works. And then the normal width, as you can see here, is about 1 meter or 40 inches, and the normal length is a little bit less than 1 meter or 40 inches. This is also interesting. This cover, you can also completely take it out or lift it up like this and put it to the rear. Then you just have more trunk here, like depth, and also here left and right. So this actually increases this massively, and you can also unlock it right here and then either go around or use the force and push it from here. I knew that lightsabers were good for something, right? The total length is 1,70 meters or 67 inches. So whereas you cannot get the BMW 1 Series hatch in the Northern American market, you can get the BMW 2 Series Gran Coupé, because they say hatch, small hatch won't sell, or compact hatch won't sell in the US. But then this one here is the entry-level sedan, so to speak. Pricing is always a discussion, of course. 39,000 euros it starts then, and 49,000 euros if you go for the 235, and then plus a couple of thousand euros of extras. Then the question is, would you go for a high-spec 2 Series Gran Coupé, or would you then already jump to a BMW 3 Series, because that might be a consideration worth in the price. This front-wheel driven platform has pros and cons. You know, traction-wise, of course, rear-wheel drive or rear-wheel-based all-wheel drive, you can get more power to the ground. Then again, you have space advantages if you have this front-wheel drive concept. That's like the main aspect to it. And all the changes, I think, make sense. But would you go for a 2 Series Gran Coupé, or would you rather go with the normal BMW 3 Series? Or a competitor of this one that I won is the Mercedes CLA.